Hello again, this is Jasmina, and in this presentation I'm going to talk about the four strongest, perhaps you can call them the four best, special formations. These four are generally recognized as the best formations you can have in your house, in your flying star chart. If you have them in your apartment building, they're also good, but you don't receive the full energy. And so this may have very little effect depending on how many apartments are in your house or in your apartment building. If you have 10 apartments, you get 10% of that good energy, which isn't actually all that bad. But if you have 100 apartments in your building, you only get 1%. So that's pretty weak. And then you need to look at other things. But if you have a single family home, one of the first things I check is that, do you have any one of these really good special formations? And if you do, then we seek to activate it. These all do basically the same thing. They make all stars become timely for all periods. And that, what a timely star is, it means it's a good star. You feel the good effects. So all stars, that's all numbers, have good aspects and bad. If a star is timely, you feel the good effects. And if it's untimely, you feel the bad. But even if you have this formation, if it's not activated, you aren't going to feel the good effects. Then it's just like a standard chart where you have to modify things every year. So a big thing is I want to make sure you can activate this formation if you actually have the right stars. There are 144 different flying star charts. There are only 16 of that 144 that are combo 10. Only 10 are parent string and only 10 are pearl string. There are 80 charts that do have the right flying star numbers in the right places to create the 7-star robbery formation, but this also has some very strict temporal requirements that knock out most of those charts. So in reality, you have either 0 up to 16 per period. In period 9, we're sort of lucky. We have 16 possible charts. 8 of those are pretty easy to do, and the other 8 are a little harder. In many years, we only have 4 easy and 4 so-so. And in some periods, we have none. And I think period 5 may be one of those periods where we have no 7-star robbery houses. Again, to activate, you must meet certain requirements, and they vary depending on which formation we're talking about, but they fall into 3 general categories. Oftentimes you need the proper external landforms, and you sometimes have to meet temporal requirements, such as with the 7-star robbery, and sometimes you have to meet the physical requirements of the building itself, and that applies to more than just one of these. It applies to a couple. So there are 648 different purple-white charts. The one thing all purple-white charts have in common is the annual star. But everything else is different for different houses or different apartments. There will be a star that's based upon the address or the floor number, the address for a house, of course, and the floor number for an apartment. And there is also another star that's based on the location of your main door, and that is the sector it falls in as measured from the center of your house. So this means you have to know where true north is so that you can actually get this measurement. The purple-white charts change every year because they're based on the annual charts, but there are a few very lucky charts that have permanently good formations, and they fall into these types, the pearl string or parent string formation. And either one, you should be happy. The parent string is probably a little bit more powerful, but the pearl string is fine too. Now there are some things in the purple-white chart that look a little bit like a 7-star robbery formation, and maybe this has an effect, maybe it doesn't. I'm hoping to test that as I get to see more and more houses. It might be possible. There are only 8 combinations of address or floor number and door locations that have these permanently good charts, so they're very rare. If you have listened to my purple-white presentation, you will know that you'll have to do a modulo 9 calculation with your address or floor number. And that means that we take all the addresses that are out there and all the floor numbers that are out there and just make it go down to a single number 1 through 9. So that makes it easier, and that's why there's only 8 possible ones. And of course, it depends on your door location. So these things are hard to come by. If you have a permanently good formation in your purple-white chart, and you do not have your flying stars having a special formation, this presence of a really good purple-white chart in a house mostly help alleviate some of the downside that you get from the 2 and the 5 and some of the other less timely stars that would occur in a house. In an apartment, even if you have a really great flying star chart, that's for the whole apartment building, and you only get a piece of that. But in an apartment building, you get 100% of the purple-white chart. So this is why in apartments, purple-white is more important. But if you happen to be super lucky and you have a house that has an activated special formation and you have a purple-white chart from the address of your house that gives you one of these permanently good charts, you have a really, really good house and you should jump for joy. You just have to make sure that your flying star chart is activated. Now, the purple-white charts can actually form a special formation when combined with your flying star chart, and this can also happen with your annual chart, and it forms a special formation for only 1 year. It's not continuous. Sometimes this special formation can be a part of the entire house or apartment or condo. Other times it can only affect one room. If you have a combination of this or with the annual stars that merge to create a special formation, it's a very good year to start something big. You don't need to finish it in that year, but you want to start it that year. An example of this could be starting a side gig, especially something you've been thinking of doing for some time. If you already have a side gig and it's doing fairly well, you can consider to turn it into your full-time job. You can also start on an advanced degree, and this is anything beyond what you currently have. So if you have a high school degree, this means going to college. It could just be an associate's degree. If you have an associate's, it would be a bachelor's, and so forth. You can also use this to learn a new skill that will help you in your job, which would be your full-time job, or your business, which would be your side gig, or could be your full-time job too. And if it's only in one part of your house, if this good combination only is in one part of your house, you want that to be in your home office. Other times, you may be able to do some other things. If you want to improve your relationship or perhaps try for a baby, if that special formation is only in the bedroom, and that would be the owner's bedroom, then it's a good year to do it. This could be like going to couples therapy. This could be also trying some fertility treatments, things like this. If you want to improve your health, you want that good combination in the kitchen. Now, if this combination of purple, white, and flying stars, or annual and flying stars, creates an overall good effect on the entire house, you can do any of these, and you do the one that's most important to you. Now, these combinations do not occur every year. And if we're talking about the overall house where it affects everything, it's usually 9 years apart. If you're talking about a single area, then what is good, for example, in period 8, won't necessarily be good when we get to period 9. So you have to adjust it for period also. But if it affects the entire house in general, it doesn't matter about the period. But those will definitely be 9 years apart. So that's basically it. I'd like to thank you for watching. Please feel free to contact me here if you have any questions. And also, you can come to my ad-free website to see more information about the services I offer and the cost. Thank you again for watching.